Hello fellow humans from the internet, and welcome to whatever this is. This is my first texting stories video, so beware it might suck. This is pure fiction, so please don't take any of it seriously. This video contains a story about a relationship between three boys, if you haven't noticed from the title, so if it disturbs you just leave and any comments concerning this will be deleted. I don't own any of the Haikyuu characters or music or sound effects or anything other than the plot. This doesn't in any way show or describe or depict how the Haikyuu characters act. It is just for fun, so don't take any of this seriously. And please everyone respect the ship. I have an addiction with shipping every ship possible, so expect any ship from me. Even a relation between a sanitizer and Omi, so no judging or negative comments about ships. But you can comment about my writing ability if it sucks. Feel free to criticize that as much as you want. But have some mercy, since English isn't my first language and learned it from fanfiction and YouTubers. But truthfully, Sanitizer-san is a tot. Warning: mention of abuse, so if it disturbs you, you have been warned. All of this is happening IRL, unless said otherwise. I know it is supposed to be texting stories, but I really don't care, so have fun with the character's agony. April 24th, 2012, 6 p.m. at IwaOiSuga Gym. Come on, Shitakawa, we must head to the library. Just one more serve, Iwa-chan. No, you said that an hour ago, and we are still here. No, just one more serve, maybe we can run some drills to Iwa-chan. Come on, we need to study. But it has not been a month yet, why do we have exams already? I am not ready to start studying yet. We are in our third year, so it is more stressful. Stop standing there like a pole and wipe the floor, Shitakawa, so we can lock the gym and go to the library and study. Don't wanna. Stop acting like a spoiled brat. No. Oikawa jumps to serve the volleyball in his hand, but Iwaizumi throws a ball at Oikawa. Oikawa lands on his butt. Why did you do that, Iwa-chan? I said, let us go. Alright. As Oikawa limps a little to go to the storage room. Iwaizumi sighs. That brat won't stop practicing until he lands himself in the hospital with a severe knee injury. What did you say? Oikawa walks into the gym again with a mop. Nothing. What did I hear? Is it a ghost? Iwaizumi makes a long sigh and ignores Oikawa as he finishes picking up all the volleyballs and taking down the net. He puts them in the storage room as Oikawa walks in and puts the mop back. Can we practice more later? That depends on how much time we need to study. I am not practicing at midnight, Shitakawa. Okay. Oikawa smirks evilly and runs to the club room to change as Iwaizumi closes the gym door and starts running after him. What was that disgusting smirk for? Disgusting. Oikawa gasps and places his hand on his chest. EWW. How dare you? Oikawa gasps dramatically and folds his arms, sitting down. Iwaizumi just starts changing his clothes, ignoring Oikawa's pout. If you don't start changing, I will lock you here till morning. You won't do that. Wanna try me? Oikawa stares at Iwaizumi and gets up, and starts to change his clothes with a pout. Iwaizumi glimpses at Oikawa but still ignores him. I just wanna hug him. Around 7 p.m. After both Iwaizumi and Oikawa finish changing, Iwaizumi locks the club room door, and they start walking silently near each other. After few moments of silence, Iwaizumi starts fidgeting with his fingers, glimpsing at Oikawa, who was playing on the phone. You'd better let me concentrate on my studies when we reach Shitakawa. Then you should have gone alone. Iwaizumi turned his head fast at Oikawa's reply, which earns him a huff from Oikawa, who just continues to play on his phone. If I went alone, I know you would have continued practicing till morning and not study anything for our exam tomorrow. Alright, meanie. But we have to finish studying fast to get to our evening practice. What have I told you about these late practices? I know that I shouldn't strain my knee more, but an extra 3 hours after rest is fine. 3? Are you serious? Come on, Iwa-chan, we have to go to nationals this year and beat the Shiwaka. Well, if you keep stressing your knee out, you won't even be allowed to play to go to nationals. Mean, Iwa-chan. I am not being mean. That is the truth. You already arrive early to practice in the morning before anyone, and you are the last person to leave. You are already stressing yourself enough. But if I don't put up all this effort, I won't get better. And taking a break to recover from knee surgery won't make you get any better either. Oikawa and Iwaizumi continue bickering and walking until reaching the park near the library. Before Oikawa stops abruptly. Oikawa? Isn't that a player from Karasuno? So? Doesn't he look like he is crying? Yeah, so? Shouldn't we talk to him or something? Maybe he is in trouble and needs help. No, that is none of our business. He is a third-year student, and if he is in trouble, he knows how to get help. But Iwaizumi grabs his arm and starts dragging Oikawa, while Oikawa continues to glimpse back at the gray-haired, distressed boy. Iwaizumi pulls Oikawa to the library before letting go of his arm. Around 9 p.m. Oikawa starts tapping with his feet and playing with the pencil and eraser like a seesaw. Iwaizumi lets out a long sigh and looks at Oikawa. What? Are you done preparing for tomorrow? No, but I am bored. Do you want to repeat the year? No, but sitting here any longer will not make me study either. I will just bother you. So, what will you do? Continue to play or finish so we can leave faster? I cannot process any more numbers. If I see one more equation, I will throw up. That isn't even possible. I cannot write anything anymore. You are being extra dramatic, Trashikawa. I will go for a jog and continue after dinner. Oikawa stands up, but Iwaizumi grabs Oikawa's hand. I know you won't open a book afterward. So please, after dinner, come to my house to review the main points. All right, I will see you. Oikawa pushes all his belongings on the table into the bag before running out of the library. Iwaizumi facepalms and continues to study. Around 10 p.m. After he finishes his run, Oikawa starts to head home but then freezes. An evil smirk spreads on his face, and Oikawa starts running toward the library. Iwa-chan must get thrilled to see me again. He chuckles as a couple passing by gives him a weird look. When he reaches the park, he spots the gray-haired boy sitting in the same spot he was sitting in a couple of hours ago. Oikawa starts to walk towards him but stops midway, remembering what Iwaizumi said. So, he turns back and starts heading towards the library. Oikawa turns back and sees that the gray-haired boy has put his face in his hands. Oikawa sighs and starts walking toward the boy and sits near him. The boy turns his head and stands up. But Oikawa grabs his arm. Please, leave me alone. I cannot leave you alone knowing you are this distressed. I am fine. All right, as you want. I won't disturb you, so please stay near me. I want to study for a bit, but feel free to tell me if you need anything. Sugawara just nods and sits near Oikawa. Oikawa pulls out his textbook and starts skimming through it. After a few minutes have passed, Sugawara stands up, so Oikawa stands up too. It is getting late, both of our parents will start to get worried. I am heading home now. All right. Can I have your number? Sure, give me your phone. Sugawara takes Oikawa's phone and adds his number. Wait, let me call you so you can have my number too. All right. Bye, call me if you need anything or just want to chat. Okay. Okay, I will. Thank you. Sugawara smiles at Oikawa, then bows and sprints away. Oikawa starts to head back home, forgetting the prank he wanted to pull on Iwaizumi. Around 11 p.m. When Oikawa reaches his house, he heads to take a shower. Iwa-chan? What are you doing in my room? Where were you, all this time? I was jogging, then sat for a while and solved some exercises. Iwaizumi just nods and goes back to studying. I'll take a shower. Okay. After Oikawa finishes his shower, he heats the dinner his mom left wrapped in the kitchen. He goes to his room, where Iwaizumi has spread his textbook on his desk. Are you going to tell me what took you so long? I told you what happened. So, you left me at the library alone to go study in the park. I don't believe that. I just got bored of sitting, so I went for a jog. Then I headed back to the library to continue studying, but I found the gray-haired boy still crying there, so I talked to him. Why would you do that? Because I felt terrible leaving him alone. I just sat near him and studied until he wanted to go. All right, let me see what you have finished alone. They spent the next hour reviewing the material for tomorrow's exam. Around 2 a.m. Oikawa grabs his phone and answers. What do you want? Do you know what time it is? I am sorry. didn't want to disturb you. I am sorry. What happened? Why are you crying? Where are you? Oikawa jumps off the bed without waiting for an answer. He wears his jacket and shoes and leaves the house. It is nothing, sorry for bothering you. Where are you? Not important. Good night. Don't hang up. I am heading toward Karasuno now. Is your house close? What? No, go back home now. It is dangerous at night. I am not going anywhere before I make sure you're safe. So, tell me, where are you? In the park. Park? Which park? The one we were in earlier? Oikawa turns around and starts sprinting toward the park. Yes. All right, stay where you are, I am coming. You don't have to come. If it wasn't an important matter, you wouldn't be calling me in the middle of the night crying in a park. Just stay where you are, I am close. Oikawa enters the park and runs toward where they sat earlier. Sugawara was standing in the dark there darting around at every noise he heard. Huff, there, huff, you are. Oikawa bends down and puts his arms on his legs to try and catch his breath. Why you shouldn't have come. I am sorry I shouldn't have called you. I believe it was urgent, and you needed someone. I know I am the last person you probably thought of, but still called me because you were in trouble, right? Why yeah. So, what do you want to do? Want me to take you home? No. Okay, you don't have to go home. You can come back with me. But what about your parents? Don't worry about them. They aren't home. All right. Oikawa grabs Sugawara's hand and starts walking home. Sugawara turns red as he starts walking after Oikawa. You don't have to hold my hand. It is safer that way, considering it is this late. I am going to ask a stupid question. All right? What is your name? Sugawara stops in his tracks, which makes Oikawa stop as well. Are you serious? Oikawa starts walking again, pulling Sugawara, who starts walking too. Yeah, like I know you are a Karasuno player but nothing more. Are you done? Yes. Oikawa screams, which made Sugawara facepalms and chuckle. What if I was a dangerous person? Well, too bad for me. Are you for real now? Well, sorry, I have a weak spot for crying boys. You will get yourself severely hurt this way. As I said, too bad for me. Oikawa shrugs as Sugawara chuckles and starts walking near Oikawa. Are we still far? No, just around the corner. All right. So, are you going to tell me your name? No, just waiting to reach your home to punch you and steal your house. Giving you my name won't be smart, then you can report me. Oikawa just pouts and stops to look at a smiling Sugawara. Oikawa's heart stings when he sees Sugawara's face with dried tears on his cheeks, so he turns around and continues walking. Fine, don't tell me. So, you are okay with me stealing your belongings? Yes. You already started to steal my heart with that smile. Sugawara bursts out laughing as Oikawa takes his keys to open the front door. Want me to wait for you here while you finish taking what you want from my house, or do you allow me to go inside with you? Sugawara nods and takes his shoes off, and stands in the entrance waiting for Oikawa to close the door and take his shoes off. I will bring you some towels and my PJs, so you can take a shower. Sugawara nods and follows Oikawa to the bathroom and gives him a new towel, underwear, and PJs. Oikawa goes back to his room to wait for Sugawara to finish. He stares at the curtains covering the window separating him from IwaOiSuga. Oikawa sighs, then looks at his desk and jumps to his feet. I forgot to give him shampoo and body wash. Oikawa grabs the shampoo and body wash from his desk and runs to the bathroom. I am sorry, I still don't know your name. Oikawa opens the door and sees Sugawara's naked back with a huge blue bruise on his back. EHH. Sugawara turns around covering his lower parts with his hand. Get out. Yes, sorry, here is the shampoo. Oikawa's face turns red. He places the shampoo and body wash near the entrance, then closes the door and runs to his room. He flops into the bed and lets out a scream into the pillow. After some time, Sugawara enters Oikawa's room with his head bent down and a blush spread to his ears. Can I wash these? Yeah. Oikawa turns in his bed to look at Sugawara but freezes in his place and his mouth drops at Sugawara's side. Sugara was wearing his oversized shirt with his wet hair dripping on his face and a towel around his neck. So. Yeah, gulps. I will put them in the washing machine. Oikawa tries to stand up but his foot gets stuck in his cover and face planted into the ground. Oikawa's face heats up as he kicks his cover and manages to stand up and snatches the clothes from Sugara, who is laughing hysterically. Oikawa runs from the room and puts on the clothes and starts the washing machine. He is hot in my clothes, so hot in my clothes. And his wet hair on his face. Why is he this hot? This should be illegal. He can kill someone accidentally, and that laugh is so angelic. Oikawa leans against the laundry room door smiling like an idiot, picturing Sugara's face. How can someone be this pretty? Oikawa-san? Sugara calls, which pulls Oikawa from his daze. Why yeah. Oikawa takes a breath before he heads back to his room and pulls out a futon from his closet and spreads it on the floor near his bed. I will sleep on the floor. No, I cannot take your bed too. I already caused you a lot of trouble. No, not at all, don't worry about it. But. It is all right. Thank you. Sugara smiles at Oikawa and sits on the bed. Sugara's smile melts Oikawa's heart as he smiles back and lays on the floor. Suddenly, Sugara's stomach lets out a huge growl and Sugara's face turns red. Oikawa sits and looks at Sugara, who has covered his face with his hand. I will grab some snacks. No, you don't have to. I am sorry. Why are you apologizing? You have to eat or else you wouldn't be able to sleep. Oikawa stands up and runs to the kitchen and grabs whatever snacks he finds and runs back to his room. You didn't need to get food, it is already late and we need to sleep. Eating now is not a good idea. It is already close to 4, I doubt we will sleep tonight. So, eat up, don't worry. Sugara grabs one of the snacks and opens it and starts eating. Oikawa folds his arms on the bed near Sugara and stares at him for long moments. Are you planning to tell me your name? Sugara chokes on his food and coughs while laughing. Oikawa sprints to the kitchen and grabs a bottle of water and gives it to Sugara, who is still coughing. Sugara takes the bottle and drinks a sip out of it. While Oikawa sits on the futon with both his legs and arms crossed and his face turned to the side with a pout. Thanks. You're welcome. Why is he so cute? Sugara Kaushi. Huh? That is my name. Oh, thanks? Sugara burst out laughing again. What was that, man? You can't be serious. Oikawa's entire face turns red. He flops on the futon with his back to Sugara, who is still giggling in the back. How can he be this adorable? Can you please stop laughing already? It is starting to hurt my dignity. All right, all right. Thank you, for everything, Oikawa-san. Oikawa turns in his bed to face Sugara, who was still sitting on the bed eating. You are welcome. After a few moments, Sugara gets up and washes his hands before slipping under the cover. Good night. Good night, thank you. Oikawa turns in his bed and lays facing Sugara, who has his back to him. Few minutes have passed and Sugara turns in the bed and sees Oikawa staring at him. Is there anything on your mind? Sugara-san? Yeah? Can I ask you something? Yeah. How did you get that bruise on your back? I slipped during practice. Volleyball bruises don't look like that and aren't that big. Even if you fell on your back, it won't leave such a bruise. Oh, did you let the nurse check it? No, I didn't, it is just normal drill bruises. Alright. I know that you don't know me for so long, but if something is bothering you, you can always tell me, alright? Thanks. Sugara starts to turn in his bed, then settles down facing Oikawa and staring at the boy's face. Should I tell him? But we barely know each other. What if he judges me? But I deserve it. I don't want him to judge me, but he seems like a nice guy. Yeah, so it won't bother him, right? It surely won't bother him, so it is fine. No, it is definitely a bad idea. I shouldn't tell him. He will probably kick me out if he knew. Yeah, the right thing is not to tell him. I know I deserve this, so it is fine. Otherwise, my dad won't do that. Right, he will never do that. He is just teaching me a lesson so I can be a better person. That is what parents do. Yet, he is doing this because he loves me and care about me. He used to be all smiles all the time, but when I started misbehaving, he started disciplining me. Yet, that is what it is. He is teaching me to be a better person. But it hurts. Ugh. Are you alright? Oikawa sits up in his bed to look at Sugawara. Yeah, sorry but I cannot sleep. Are you sure you are fine? Oikawa jumps and sits near Sugawara on the bed. Yeah, I am fine. Can you tell me why you are crying? Sugawara just shakes his head and covers his face with his hands and starts crying harder. Sugawara-san, I don't know what is disturbing you and cannot help you if you don't tell me. I know that we just met and we barely know each other, but telling a stranger sometimes is a good thing. Like we go to different schools, so we barely see each other, and if I disturbed you in any way, you can never meet me again. You can even block me and we will lose all contact. I won't pressure you to say anything, but I am willing to hear whatever you want to say. And if I disturbed you in any way, you can just simply get me out of your life. Sugawara's sobbing died as he sat up against the headboard hearing Oikawa. Sugawara smiles at Oikawa's words. Then he lowers his head and starts looking at his hands. It isn't something important. You shouldn't be bothered. Is it concerning why you were crying in the park earlier? Right, Daichi, how can I face him today in school? I just ran off once he told me. Oh, I messed up. Sugawara brings his knees to his chest, and shakes his head, before putting his head on his knees. No, that is something else. Alright, then does it concern why you called me in the middle of the night? Why yeah. And it concerns why you cannot go back home? You know you don't have to tell me anything if you don't want to. And if you want me to stop talking or asking you can just say so and I will stop. No, it is alright. I want to tell you but. You don't have to force yourself if you don't want to. You can tell me whenever you want, and it doesn't have to be now. Also, whatever you tell me stays between us, if you want, and no other soul will know. But I am afraid. But also, I know, if I don't tell you now, I will never tell. Oikawa grabs Sugawara's hand and presses it a little to give him some courage. Sugawara raises his head and smiles sadly at Oikawa. I know I deserve what my dad is doing, but it hurts. Oikawa's eyes widen at Sugawara. What exactly does he do that hurts? He hits me. Period. I have another YouTube channel where I upload time-lapse of my art. It is in the description below with my Instagram account. I am just a beginner artist, so don't expect your mind to be blown. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it.